last time I talked about drumming for the Mary Poppins musical, and since my high school's spring concerts were this week, I thought today I would share the story of how I became a percussionist. So back in 5th grade, toward the end of the year when we were getting ready to choose our classes for our first year in middle school, we went to visit the middle school band room. And while we were there, we got to try out some of the instruments with help from the band students. I remember trying to play the clarinet and completely failing to produce any kind of noise, but then I think I tried French horn and got a little bit of sound out, and that was all I had time for. Yeah, I didn't even try percussion, surprisingly. So I chose band as one of my electives, but then before 5th grade ended, I started believing I would be terrible in band, so I went to the counselor asking if I could switch out of band for drama. I had done a bit of acting throughout elementary school, which is why I thought drama might be a better choice for me. The counselor said he would make the change, so I was relieved, but when I checked my 6th grade schedule 2.5 months later, beginning band was listed as my 5th period class. I was a bit nervous, but I decided to roll with it. Besides, my best friends were in that class. After the first few days of band, which were mostly rhythm exercises I think, the time came for us to choose what instrument we wanted to play. It's almost like choosing your first Pokemon. No, I don't know, what am I saying? We each got a note card to write down our top 3 choices on, and one probably would have expected me to choose French horn or at least a brass instrument, right? Wrong. Out of nowhere, I decided to list percussion as my first choice. I don't know, maybe it just looked easier. Plus I figured I'd be a terrible wind player judging from my first attempt earlier that year. Then I heard that you had to know how to play piano to sign up for percussion, and I had started playing piano when I was 7, so I was pretty sure percussion would be a good choice for me. Best decision ever. Throughout my first semester of band, I picked up everything really quickly. I remember we would have these tests where we would play a quick tune out of our music books, and I would always practice the night before one of these tests so that I would get a perfect 10 out of 10. Apparently there was one time when I messed up a note on the xylophone and got a 9.9, but I think that was it. Then at the beginning of the next semester, some of us were moved up to the intermediate band. For me, it meant leaving some friends behind in beginning band, and seeing all the new, more experienced faces was slightly intimidating, but at this point I felt that I was ready for some more challenging music. Except I didn't really have time to get comfortable in intermediate band. About 1 or 2 weeks later, I got called to the counselor's office, and when I got there, the counselor went, "Alyssa, the band director thinks you're so good, he wants to move you up to advanced band." I just had no idea what to say for a little bit, because advanced band was, of course, the highest level band in the school and was made up exclusively of 7th and 8th graders. Yet there I was, a tiny 6th grader, I mean, I'm still tiny, but that's beside the point, being told I could be put in advanced band. Well, I decided to agree to it, and as far as I know, I was the first 6th grader to ever go from beginning to advanced less than a year. So when all my friends and acquaintances found out about it, they reacted pretty much the same way I did to the news. First day in advanced band, I was shyer than usual because I knew nobody there, but the other percussionists were nice and broke me in, and I soon got comfortable with the more experienced musicians. So band has been my favorite class ever since. Almost every time I've had an opportunity to do some drumming, I would go for it. It could be anything from playing with the jazz band to volunteering with the pit band for the high school's musical productions. I remember even wanting to form a rock band with my 2 best friends from middle school, but I think we kind of just forgot about that plan. Nevertheless, for a while I was thinking of pursuing music in college, but I changed my mind sometime last year for a few reasons. One of them being that I wasn't too thrilled at the idea of rehearsing 5 hours a day for the rest of my life, or however long it actually is. And the college I'm attending doesn't even have a music program. When I first found that out, it kind of just felt like a part of my soul being torn away. Cause like, I still love playing, I just don't think I could commit to practicing every single day. But to make up for not being in band while in college, sometimes when I have free time, I go back to the high school and help the younger percussionists out. I haven't had a lot of time to do that lately though because of my workload, which I shouldn't even be having a problem with because lately I've only had class twice a week. Plus an online class usually. Anyway, band has been a huge part of my life, and I don't know where I would be without it. I mean, I would probably pursue creative writing either way, or paleontology maybe. But pretty much all my best friends from middle and high school were in band, and I cannot imagine life without them. Seriously, the teamwork involved in making music with such a large group, especially during the concerts, is amazing. It gets even better at events such as the Honors Music Festival, which is essentially our version of All-State, or whatever it's called in America. I never went to school in the States, so I have no idea. But anyway, the best and brightest of us are selected to go to this event, and we get to spend about 4 days befriending other passionate musicians from other DOD schools around Europe and rehearsing with them for the final concert. Oh man, Honors was like one of the few things I looked forward to each year of high school. A lot of unforgettable memories were made with some of the best people ever. You all know who you are. And with that, Shastasaurus Allosaurus was a giant Triassic ichthyosaur whose fossils have been discovered in California, Canada, and China. At present, it's the largest non-marine reptile, but it has short, toothless jaws and, according to research, probably was a second feeder. So if you're maybe a 5th or 6th grader thinking about choosing band as an elective, I say go for it. It's really fun, you make great friends, and the music you make with them is amazing. Please subscribe if you haven't already and want to see my future vids. Bye!